Hey guys, we're here today at Peter's Chevrolet. It's in Longview, Texas. I got my salesman here, JJ Vanderpoel. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well. Appreciate you taking the time today to go over the new Silverado with us. It's a 2014 Silverado. You guys have ample supply of these in stock?
Tons in stock.
That's a good deal. Well, just want to go over some of the new features of the Silverado, the high points. Obviously, you've got a new power plant in the truck. What have we got now?
Now, you're staying 5.3 liter V8, more horsepower, 355 from 315, up to fuel mileage. As far as your powertrain, it stayed a lot the same, but they did change some certain things, certain tweaks. Main thing about the vehicle, though, is your technology. MyLink radio, we did a entire redesign of the interior and exterior, but there's a lot of things inside the vehicle that you really need to come and get inside to actually see. Main thing is that you can spend hours on the radio with apps, streaming music, Pandora, all voice recognized. Of course, you have all your power adjustable pedals, your parking assist, your cargo lamps, your lane departure system.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty huge. That's a new feature. I guess it has audible alerts and then like a seat vibration thing.
Actually, if you start to veer on one side, it'll actually vibrate on that left side, or if you start to veer to the right, it'll actually vibrate on the right side.
It's pretty intuitive. I like that.
Also, too, there's a new park assist in the front that'll actually, as you pull up onto another vehicle or as you're pulling into a parking spot, it'll actually give you a visual inside the driver information system to show exactly breakdown in steps, how close you're getting to that. Also, too, it has adaptive cruise control. If you start closing in on the vehicle ahead of you, it'll actually display a visual on the windshield and let you know exactly, either amber or red, exactly how close you're closing in and what rate of speed you're closing in on that vehicle.
That's great for when you're Facebooking and driving.
Exactly, the stuff you're not supposed to be doing.
Right, that's pretty good to have those kind of features. Also, the media features with you have all the USB ports. You have SD card slots.
Actually, yeah, you have three USBs up front, two regular 12 volts, an actual 110 inverter here in the dash, and then also in your console here you have your SD card, two more USBs, and then also I believe there's one more 12 volt inside here.
Right, that's awesome. And so while we're talking about the console here, previously it was just the captain chairs was the option for the front. Now we have the full bench as an option.
You can also get a full bench in the LTZ upper grade model, which was never offered before.
Right.
And then of course the bucket seated area here, the console has been totally redesigned.
Yeah, this is plush. I mean, all the stitching, even all the accents in the door panels, all the controls, everything's really intuitive. Also, we have integrated braking now.
Trailer braking's integrated into the dash. They removed it from down low where it was kind of hard to, or not hard, but say not as accessible as it is when it's up there, up at the top part.
And like you mentioned, the seats are great. Were they 8, 12-way adjustable?
12-way seats on both sides on the LTZ, heated seats, cooled seats, and then they also have a heated steering wheel this year.
The steering wheel, that's nice.
And then something else they changed about the steering wheel is not only does it tilt, it will telescope in and out.
Okay, great. And so some of the actual cab features, I mean, obviously we've got the sunroof, that's nice, the sliding rear window. You mentioned the sound dampening now, it's an increase.
Absolutely, they actually added acoustical sound dampening blankets in the doors, and then also the way they design the A-pillars here is to channel the road noise, engine noise away from the cab rather than into the cab like most of your competitors like Ford does.
Right, and then also I think there's some synthetic composite fender liners. That's something that's new.
Inside the fender liners there is a composite fender well liner, which obviously dampens road noise.
And that's great. All this, and then stacked on top of it, you've got the first 2 years, 24,000 mile maintenance.
Maintenance,
courtesy.
Oil changes, and your tire rotations for the first 2 years of 24,000 miles is complimentary from GM. And then something else that we haven't touched on is that they did 4-wheel disc brakes all the way around this year.
Okay.
Something that Chevrolet hasn't done in a while.
That's really cool. Okay, so obviously we've looked at the LTZ here. It's a really plush vehicle, but I mean the opposite end of the spectrum. You guys, is it the 1LZ? Is that the kind of the base truck?
Well, the difference between the 1LZ and the 2LZ is your suspension package, which is your Z71.
Okay,
and then you can step down from any LZ package into an LT package. Okay. And then something else that they haven't done is they can integrate a Texas Edition package from an LT up into your LTZ, which it kind of, we talked earlier, was kind of your standalone package.
Okay, so for a base truck to the loaded out LTZ, what's our price spectrum?
Something that GM noticed, they said they did not want to change the truck and change the price. The same base MSRPs that were in the 13-year model are actually the same base MSRPs in the 14-year model.
Okay.
So price increase, even though all this stuff has changed, basically hasn't been driven up. But you're looking at a crew cab 2-wheel drive starting around $37,000. And then of course you can go into a 4-wheel drive on up to maxed out like this right here at around
50,000
MSRP.
And the longevity of this truck, the quality of the build, I mean, you know, that's a significant price for someone, but it's a real investment for a vehicle that's going to last a good while. And I had the 07 when the first body style came out, and most of you guys have seen some of the reviews I've done on that, and the truck has been amazing, no problems. I mean, it's a good quality ownership, and so I would assume it would be absolutely the same with this vehicle.
Absolutely, and then of course when you drive this vehicle, as quiet as it is, obviously quality is associated with quietness. If you have a quiet truck, you generally have a quality truck. Thrown on with the warranty and the maintenance, you know, one, your resale value is going to hold its value much longer. So you can afford to drive a truck like this for 4 to 5 years and then turn around and get a good bit of your money back.
Oh, absolutely. Well, enough talking. I mean, obviously we talked about the features, but we're going to go out now. We're going to take one for a test spin. JJ's got one ready for us, so we're going to go out and make a couple of test spins in that, and then we'll come back and do some wrap-ups. This might not be a good thing. You might be selling me a truck today too. This is plush.
You notice how when you're turning the wheel, how easy it is because there's no power steering. It's all electric.
Right. And one thing I noticed when we come up is the truck is just unbelievably quiet. You can barely hear that it's running.
Very quiet.
So this is the LTZ that we're in,
yes,
comparable to the one we looked at on the showroom?
I think the only thing this one doesn't have that one did is the lane departure system.
Okay.
So you won't get that jolt in your seat when you start vibrating.
Right.
Which it tends to catch a lot of people kind of by surprise. But you know, I mean, if you were one, texting, or two, like say, if you were starting to veer off, falling asleep, either way, you know, it kind of alerts you to like, hey, you know, you're not maintaining your lane.
So what is that based off of? Is it just deviation of direction, or is it by like it's lines recognition?
It does. It recognizes the lines in the on the highway. It does something.
Okay, so we got oil life, got tire pressure monitoring, got obviously speedometer, odometer, trip, timer, navigational base, speed limit reference, I guess. So we're in a 50 mile an hour, 55 mile an hour zone.
It recognizes what the speed limit is where you're at right that time.
Oh, that's a great feature, especially when you're traveling. You're not sure of
unfamiliar territory. You know, don't get caught in a speed trap.
Right. And we got engine life hours, time used, trans temps, speedometers. So you gotta ask. Take it to test drive. You gotta do an acceleration test.
Sure, absolutely.
Is there any conflict of interest with the dealership of doing a straight line acceleration test?
No, absolutely not. We encourage it.
I guess you gotta know what you're buying, you know.
Well, yeah, especially going like say from this truck, and most people have that are buying this truck are previous this truck owners, and they've had 315 horsepower for 6 years now, and now to have 355, we want them to feel it.
Right, yeah, I definitely want to see the power difference. I mean, 315 was strong, but I would assume 355 would be stronger.
Right.
165. There's 80, so that was pretty quick. This first and fourth shifts. Smooth, shifts are real crisp and firm.
Very, very smooth. And also part of the PCM is shift points. It tries to learn the driver's driving habits, and it tries to accommodate those shift points so that way it does transmission shift smoother for that particular driver.
Wow. Well, JJ, I appreciate your time today, buddy. It's a great experience.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming out.
Peters is a great facility. Definitely recommend you guys come in and see them. You want to give them their hours for business hours?
We're 8 to 6 Monday through Friday and 9 to 6 on Saturdays.
Nice.
Closed on Sunday.
It's a good deal. Make sure you come see JJ. He is definitely the man for your new car sales needs. You've got it all under control. So we'll be seeing more from JJ in the future. Got a couple of things in the pipe with him.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your time today and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.